Yo, I wanted to cover this, and I want to claim fair use, because I'm not profiting off of none of this. But what I wanted to talk about today was boyfriend and girlfriend lifestyles, which is not a covenant or a marriage or leading to marriage or anything like that. And personally, I avoid boyfriend and girlfriend situations with females. Um, I was raised to be a husband and to look for a wife and to not fornicate and to not I didn't learn or I wasn't taught and raised to be a boyfriend and to find a girlfriend and stuff like that. So it saves me from fornicating and stuff like that, which is a blessing for me not to get involved in these situations. So I have a few headlines in the news that made the news regarding boyfriend girlfriend lifestyles and where the male or the female you know lost their life. you know so in this situation, I remember seeing this story a couple of months ago, I think it was, where this female that you see in the blue sweater, um, she was charged and accused of killing her boyfriend. And the police were conducting an investigation on his boyfriend, and she was the main culprit, and she was lying to the police. So basically, what I want to explain and do a little show and tell is how toxic boyfriend and girlfriend lifestyles are. And the lifestyle is full of vanity and carelessness and toxicity between the both male and female. In this situation, this broad killed her boyfriend, and for the most part, these broads here in America are not wives. For the most part, right? This is the wrong time to look for a marriage and to look for a wife. If I would suggest to any man not to look for a wife here in America, because these bras are not wives. And um, it always ends bad. You know what I'm saying? Most of these bras lack the performance to be a wife and to really excel in a relationship. Like I said before, the black culture is flawed, and the black broad can't go the distance, and she's not built to be loyal, and she's really not built to build generational wealth and a legacy with any man. So when I saw this story, and there's another story that I saw, this story in particular, she lied. She didn't have no remorse. And if I was a cop, I would know if a woman or if a broad or if a man, is lying about, the death of a woman that's close to him or his girlfriend, or whether a girlfriend is a part of the crime after she or he finds out that she or he is deceased, and they show no remorse. When the police were investigating this crime, this broad showed no remorse when the police explained to her during their search for her boyfriend that they came across a bunch of blood splattered all across his apartment, and she was not even remorseful or upset or emotional. She showed no remorse. And for me, that's a telltale sign, when there's no remorse being shown by the person that's close to the deceased. And it goes for children too. You can always tell who has something to do with the death of a child or the death of a boyfriend or the death of a girlfriend when they show no remorse, especially when they were currently dealing with the person during the missing or during the investigation or during the discovery of some type of homicide. And this broad showed no remorse. She was also dealing with her ex-boyfriend, which is another part of the lifestyle of boyfriend and girlfriend. Nobody's faithful, and the situation is toxic, and it is really based on survival. Lots of females are bums and broke. Lots of these broads are looking for help and don't know how to be genuine, and they pretty much stay pretty shifty and remain open to seeing multiple men at the same time, and it gets real messy and real toxic real quick, all right? And life is way too serious for boyfriend and girlfriend and situationships with these broads. So like I said, I tell my sons all the time, don't take these broads serious. Do not get married to one of these broads, and be very, very, very careful and cautious, and even consider leaving these broads alone and considering them off limits. Because in most cases, it gets messy. There's always some guy that's ready to crash out for these broads, some other pervert or simp or sucker that she's convinced to care, and he's overly dramatic, and it gets real messy, and lives start getting lost and stuff like that. So, I'm gonna let one of these play without clicking on them and see the father of the son that was deceased.
Hour and 15 minutes away and thrown in the water like he was just garbage and trash. And just to concur with, I can't say it, he wasn't trash. He was a son. He was a father. He was a nephew. He was a brother. He was a friend. He was a lot of things. May not have been perfect, but who is? But he definitely didn't deserve to die like that.
A father said those words.
Now, he got the, I told you in my video, My Black Thoughts, that, black people, their culture is the problem. Their culture is full of multiple lifestyles and paganism and drugs and alcohol and fornication, and there's nothing godly about these lifestyles that they choose to live. So it doesn't end well with the broads and these dudes that choose to go after each other in these lifestyles. It's very messy, very toxic, and it's and at any moment it can definitely go left, right? Because there is no boundaries being set, and again, for the most part, the broads lack discipline. The dudes are pretty much doing whatever, you know what I'm saying? And it's messy, you know what I'm saying? So, I avoid boyfriend and girlfriend lifestyles because it gets messy and there's no loyalty. And, like I said, any minute it can go left, you know what I'm saying? 1 minute they're out there making bad they're out there making bad purchases, and then the next minute they're celebrating, some birthday or holiday, or, you know what I'm saying, going places on the weekend, acting like they're smiling and having a good time. And then the next minute reality kicks in and things go left, So this is one of those cases where, she had help disposing of his body, and then she was also living in an apartment with him that was being rented out by her ex-boyfriend, and she had she participated in the death of her boyfriend.
A person that is a loving and caring person. And one thing about me, I'm not a person that's want to hurt you. not the type of person that's just going to just bully you or just put you in harm's way.
George
She said, I'm not the kind of person that'll hurt you for no reason. And she's a demon. You can see in her eyes, she's a demon. And that's why I fall back right now, not looking for a wife, not looking for no relationship. I'm going to let these demons search each other out and ruin each other's lives, especially when it comes to these broads, because I know the demon can definitely use her because she's already out of her mind, already spaced out and doing all sorts of things instead of being where she belongs. She's already displaced. Her logic is displaced as well. So, like I said, I started this channel, to talk about the men because they find themselves being victims and being traumatized by these types of situations without even realizing how to get out of them. And for the most part, like I said, go back and watch my watch my video, My Black Thoughts, and I'm going to also do my Asian thoughts, my African thoughts, and I'm going to make a series out of my thoughts, and then I'm going to dive off into something else. But I wanted to I created this channel so that I can cover these topics and cover these situations and just speak freely. Again, if whoever don't like it, just know that I don't give a fuck. These are my thoughts. I'm going to run this channel based on what I think and how I view the world. And sometimes I could be a little biased, but for the most part, I'm going to be looking at it, observing it, and calling it out without really taking nobody's sides, because I don't have no dog in these fights, for real. It's just that a lot of my tone and a lot of my viewpoints are going to come from being neutral. So I'm going to say whatever I want to say. I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want to say. And that's just the way it is. I do not care who don't like this channel. I don't have no dog in this race. I don't care who don't like it. I don't care who do like it. If you like it, then whatever. Hit the like, share, subscribe, whatever. But I started this channel to speak freely. And I'm not a Christian. I'm not a simp. I'm not a sucker. I'm not a stepdad. I had my parents. My parents were married, and I can talk my shit because I don't come from these dysfunctional situations, and I'm gonna point these situations out. All right. I'm not telling people what to do. Oh, it's better to be with Becky. It's better to not be religious. It's better to not do this. I don't care about none of that. I'm calling it out the way I see it. And from what I see, these lifestyles, especially like this one, the boyfriend-girlfriend lifestyle, is trash. It's the father of the son right here that was deceased by his girlfriend. Let's hear what he got to say.
That happened need to justifiably be punished. If she stabbed him in a fight and dialed 911 and my son died, we'd be having a different conversation today. But we didn't even have the opportunity to properly bury him because his body was so decomposed. This is what I wound up going to the morgue to see.
The prosecutor later told the judge he did not want to show the photos in court because
his body, his son's body was dumped in the water, and it was badly decomposed. And this broad, she possessed the boots that was used to clean up the apartment with all the blood splattered all over the place. And when the cops came across this evidence, the boots, the mop, the bucket for the mop, they flashed the black light after they sprayed the apartment with that luminescent, and it just looked like the Northern Lights in there. It was blood splattered everywhere. I mean, literally everywhere in that apartment, blood splatters. They cleaned up the apartment or attempted to, and it wasn't cleaned up. They discovered the blood, and here goes. This is the way that she's a demon, and these demons really, it seemed like they just have like assignments, and when eventually they go down for these assignments that they complete. But this is what she looked like, and there was another incident where there was a female. I remember this other incident where a female stabbed her boyfriend in the chest, said that they was playing around and she stabbed him and stuff, and he died. There's a video on that as well, but I'm not gonna get into that today because I have an article to go over after I'm done. But I just came across this video today. I'll be watching a lot of these law and crime law and crime videos and stuff like that, and just to tie it into something that I was thinking about lately. I remember I was a boyfriend and I had a girlfriend years ago, or like when I was a teenager and stuff like that. And then I walked away from that relationship without even mentioning that I was leaving the situation. And the girl found me years later and she was like, "Where did you go?" And I was like, "Shit, I went to the military." And she was like, "Damn." And I seen her like 6 years after me and her got together, and she was like asking me where I was at and shit. And I was like thinking to myself, I don't give a damn about being no damn boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not a marriage. It's not a courtship. I'm not going to meet the fathers of these broads that are running around here, meeting men on their own and choosing to fornicate. It doesn't lead to nothing. I've never took a broad serious or a situation serious where a broad wanted to be a damn girlfriend. I'm not trying to be no damn boyfriend. Forget that shit. We can just get to the point, and however long it lasts, this is how I was thinking before, whether it's short term or long term, she better perform, because I base everything with a broad I base it on performance. She either gonna perform or she not gonna perform. If she gonna perform, then so be it. If she not, then she can kick rocks after the damn, after the fizzles away. You know what I'm saying? And most of the time today, these bras is just targeting a transaction. So, and I'm not transactional. I don't pay for sex. I don't, I'm not a sucker going out my way trying to drive 3 and 4 hours to meet a broad. I don't need to live with a broad and things like that. So let's see what this dude is saying.
Fortunately, no, their loved one is deceased and can start the healing process right away, so to speak. With the missing person investigation that includes a homicide, that is not the case. These families endure an additional time frame of pain and suffering, in this case 7 months, with just not knowing where their loved one is, and always holding out hope, as they should, that their family member is at least alive. That's an additional 7 months of stress, sadness, pain, anxiety that the criminal justice system often overlooks, in my opinion. As always, it just didn't need to be this way. It could have been avoided had Diamond Vaden had an ounce of human decency. With Diamond Vaden, Your Honor, don't be fooled. She is well-spoken, polite, intelligent, and presents herself well. What you are looking at, Your Honor, is a wolf in sheep's clothing.
And he not lying. The boyfriend and girlfriend lifestyle, I'm going to call it a lifestyle. I always call it a lifestyle, just like the LMNOP lifestyle. Black culture is damn near white culture, but it's another area that has multiple lifestyles within it that are highly toxic, and they always, they always involve some type of ungodliness. Whether it's, like I said, whether it's children out of wedlock, or whether it's, single mothers, replacing the biological father because she's an adulteress and she moved on to another situation, and, putting a man on child support, having the children call another man dad, doing all types of messy stuff with these men's children, and dragging these children through her poor decisions. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I found this after I came across an article earlier about another situation that I'm gonna show after this. And I said, wow, I'm gonna do a video on on boyfriend and girlfriend, because for a long time I was trying to figure out excuse me, when was I going to talk about the lifestyle of being boyfriend and girlfriend. So I had to make this channel so that I can speak freely. And like I said, these are my thoughts. And if somebody understands them if they agree with them or whatever, then whatever. Good for you. If you're sitting back riding in your vehicle while you're listening to me talk, then go for it. But boyfriend and girlfriend is the name of this video, and how toxic it is, and how it's based on a lot of fornication, and it's messy. There's no loyalty, and it has a lot of different walks of life that are in it, and it has a lot of secrets too. Boyfriend and girlfriend lifestyles is full of secrets, right? Let's see here.
That search was
She searched, what are the chances to survive in real life after being stabbed in the abdomen? And that's one of the questions that the investigators asked her. Why would you search something like that? And she was like, oh, I always search all types of weird stuff. But yeah, look at her. I tell my sons to stay away from these bras, but they still like these old, they like these old silly bras. And I'm waiting on a day for my sons to come to me with some type of horror story. And I'm gonna be like, listen, I already told you and warned you about these bras. Let's see what the father got to say.
I think about my son.
And you pass over
Every time.
the Huron River.
I do, every time.
And that's what you did for 7 months when you would come here?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Not knowing that my son was riding away right near me.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Strang.
George Cox Jr. missing since October 19th, 2024. 7 months passed with no answers. Then, on May 16th, 2025, 2 kayakers near the Huron River Marsh, just south of the Route 2 bridge in Erie County, found something in the water. Erie County News covered the discovery. Nobody in the public knew who that man was at that point. He was just an unidentified person in Erie County.
Well, it is a mystery that so far police have not been able to solve. A body washed up in a river, and police are telling us this does not look like an accident. But no one has come forward to ID the potential victim. But now a way the police believe you can help in making an ID. Catherine Huntley here now, live with this story.
Back on May 16th, a kayaker found a body in a Huron River marsh. That body remains unidentified. So now the sheriff's office is hoping the public will be able to identify some of the tattoos on that body. Take a good look. These are some possibly recognizable tattoos on the Erie County John Doe. Law enforcement is hoping someone might know who or what organizations they belong to.
Study the tattoos, talk to people, anybody that does tattoos or anybody that has knowledge of gangs within Toledo to Cleveland, give us a call. We'd be more than happy to listen to you.
Police say the man was 5 feet 6 inches tall, black, around 160 pounds, with dark facial hair and around 20 to mid-30s in age. The body was found just south of the Route 2 bridge in the Huron River. They don't know the cause of death yet, but police say it is suspicious. He was found in a fitted bed sheet tied around the ankles with marine-style rope.
Definitely deemed suspicious based on how we discovered the body, the sheets.
They also aren't sure how long the body was in the water. Could be several weeks to months. Because of that, the body was in very poor condition, so they need the public's help. Once they know who it is, they can work backwards to find out how he died and who was involved. They are hoping it all starts with understanding these tattoos.
We've kind of narrowed it down to specific organizations that this individual may have been involved with, but that's to be determined yet. So most important part is getting the identification so we can have closure for the family.
In Huron, Catherine Huntley, 19 News.
Investigators worked to connect the evidence.
Yeah, so I was like, damn, that lifestyle of boyfriend and girlfriend like I said, you know, it's ungodly. You know, the bras are not, you know, not obedient. I see these bras all the time, you know, and this is just the relationship part. But there's so many broads that are down with this lifestyle, you know, they, you know, you know, the bras are such a problem all the way down to their behavior, you know, to how they move, you know what I'm saying, who they know, you know what I'm saying, down to their dress code, you know, the attitudes, you know, their values. It's all there, you know what I'm saying? But she told her boyfriend that when, you know, after he didn't return her call or after he didn't answer the phone or something like that, she told him, "You're going to be next to go missing." And he was, and then he lost his life. So this is just one of those cases where, you know, that lifestyle is messy, man. So she got a maximum of 25 years, and she also has to have supervised probation when she get out in 25 years. This case is from 2025. So she'll be about going on 50, 60 years old when she get out or something like that. But she was seeing somebody else anyway, and she had other men that she was dealing with, and she still, you know, put him to death. But excuse me. That's that, you know what I'm saying? That's that one case of boyfriend and girlfriend. And then we're gonna go into this other case of boyfriend and girlfriend on Facebook. Facebook has another case of boyfriend and girlfriend that I saw earlier today. And let's see if I can find it. This one right here. It says teen murdered on I-77. Then girl murdered on I-7, or teen girl murdered on I-77 during an argument with boyfriend. Girl shot in head. Justice Wells was murdered on Interstate 77 this week, shot dead and dumped out of vehicle in the middle of traffic. On July 26, 2026, Justice Faith Wells, 19, was murdered on Interstate 77 in Mooresville, North Carolina. Her boyfriend, Jacoby Ramser, 23, is charged with her murder. So he shot her in the head and dumped her body out on the freeway. This is how toxic boyfriend and girlfriend is, because there's no rules, there's no boundaries. Two parties that are fornicators, two parties that are living different lifestyles, expecting each other to play by some type of rules when this is an ungodly situation. Justice died on scene. Jacoby later allegedly shot himself. Jacoby was rushed to the hospital where he is in critical condition, sedated with amnesia. And you know, again, it's a bunch of cowardly broads that don't stand on business, and then it's a bunch of cowardly dudes that don't stand on business. You know what I'm saying? These are not stand-up lifestyles. Boyfriend and girlfriend is not a stand-up lifestyle. It's a lifestyle for cowards and crash outs and people who serve different lifestyles. So I had another one on here. Let me see if I can find it. There's another one on here if I can find it. Let me see. That was boyfriend and girlfriend. And then it's another one from earlier. Let me see. There was another one with a couple. There was another one from earlier, right up in here. It's been a while. Let me see. Let's see this one real quick, and I'm going to go to the one I was talking about.
So the point of me making this live was basically, I realized today that I have nothing to offer a man. Nothing. And I feel like it took, number one, it took me 32 years to realize it, because I just found that out today. So I was today years old when I realized it. And then it took me a lot of pride swallowing to be able to admit it. I'm going to tell you why I feel the way I feel. This is not based off anyone else. This is only based off myself. But I just wanted to share it just in case it may help somebody else. I feel like I don't have anything to offer to a man because a man asked me what I had to offer him. And it was the way he asked that made me realize that I don't. He simply stated, I realize that you're single, but tell me, what would I benefit from having you as my woman? Now, outside of the basics, like, oh, I look nice, I can cook, I work, I didn't have nothing else to offer. And the reason I realized that I didn't is because I got to thinking about myself, and all I've been doing for so many years is just working and taking care of kids. I don't know necessarily what I'm into, so there goes hobbies. I'm not necessarily sure my feminine level of energy, because majority of my relationships, I wore the pants. So how can you, as a woman, offer to be a woman to a man if you've never fully been a woman? I am a woman because I'm a female, but I'm talking about like actually be a woman, like to a man. I've never experienced that, so I don't know what that feels like. So I can't honestly say that I have anything to offer as far as a woman outside of just being a woman. So that means all I really do have to offer is some pussy because I'm a woman and we have one. That's really not enough. I can't honestly say I can offer you a nurturing environment, because I'm too frustrated about the children that I have and the lack of help that I have with them. So it's like I can't necessarily be so nurturing to you when I'm frustrated at the amount of nurturing that I'm already doing. So therefore, I know I can't offer you that. I can offer cooking for you, but then to me, it comes at a price, because if you're coming and you're sitting and you're eating my food and you're not providing any of it, I'm a feel away. So now I'm offering you bitterness. That's not anything a man wants. Why would you want a bitter female? Well, I'm bitter because of my own merits. So it's not your job to fix the bitterness. It's my job to fix. As much as I want a man to come to me ready, able to provide, work, and handle himself, I think that me as a female, I need to have my emotions in check, because if a man wants peace, I don't have any, because I'm frustrated. I'm bitter, I'm emotional, I'm upset. So I made this video because today I realized that I don't have anything to offer a man outside of good looks. And I learned that I don't want a man for just his looks. So how can I be so selfish and only offer a bare minimum and expect so much. That is some unfair shit. Now, I don't know about all these other females. Other females may not agree or even feel the way I feel. But I know me, I know the man that I'm looking for and wanting, I'm not even half of him. So the reason that I'm even talking about all of this is because I watched a video that Steve Harvey had a while ago. And what he said was that when you're out looking for a spouse, you should find a person that is a cup that is the same type of cup as you. So if you imagined yourself as a water bottle, and this is 2 Ozarka bottles, if you meet a spouse that is just a cap, and then you're a bottle, when you go into pouring into this person, they're a cap. So that means they can only hold a cap full of what you've poured. Well, if you pour everything you got into them, they've only held a cap full amount. So now it's time for them to pour back into you, and all they have is the cap. But you're still this whole bottle. So you expect this little cap to fill all of you up. That doesn't work. So now I'm realizing I've been walking around feeling like a bottle, but really I'm a cap. And I'm out here looking for bottles, and niggas are shaped like bottles, ain't full of shit. And I have nothing to fill them with. So I'm empty and low, and these men are empty too, and I'm out here mad about it. So I had to take a step back, and I've just learned this. I had to take a step back and look at myself and realize, girl, you don't even have shit to offer while you out here mad at these men. So how about you focus on getting you something to offer a man that would be something that they could walk away from you and feel like, you know what, I can't live without her. Because without her, I can't do this, this, and this, and this. Because I'm telling you, with me, you can get you some attitude. All the bitches got attitude. Well, I got one of them. Nobody wants that. And with me, you can get a baby because I seem to make those. But all the bitches do that. So what about me is going to be different from this next female? I'm about to take the time and figure that shit out. So I just want to share with y'all that some of us ladies may not necessarily have anything to offer a man, and we don't realize that because we feel like we're a woman and that's enough. But if you want a man to be more than just a nigga, then you're going to kind of have to be more than just a bitch. Okay, that's all. Have a good day. So the point of me making this...
Well, you know what I'm saying? She got some sense, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, the boyfriend and girlfriend lifestyle is what's, you know, the biggest handicap for a lot of these situations that could be prosperous. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go to this other one that I saved from earlier. This is what I was explaining to you earlier, you know what I'm saying, about this boyfriend and girlfriend stuff. A lot of these broads that are married are not even wives, and dudes still be marrying these broads. And, you know what I'm saying, I came across this video, this article last night. It says, woman tells husband to bring a gun to Walmart to shoot shopper she was beefing with, watches him turn the store into Baghdad and gets him killed. So the husband ended up dying because of his stupid ass broad, his stupid ass wife. So here it is. His stupid wife went to Walmart at 6 a.m. in the morning without him. What type of, like, your wife or my wife or a wife is at the store. She decides to jump her stupid ass up and go to Walmart at 6 a.m. by herself. Now, this is a 24-hour Walmart. The Walmarts are not even 24-hour where I live at. They used to be 24-hour. They're not even 24 hours no more. So I think they close at, like, you know what I'm saying, 10 p.m. But she's at Walmart in Las Vegas, and it says where a man was killed by police after shooting a person. So her husband is the ones that the police shot, and the guy that was shot by the husband, he was arguing with his girlfriend. So the husband, wife decides to go to Walmart, and she runs into this couple that's arguing. The couple, a man and a woman in Walmart arguing. She couldn't even mind her fucking business, and she gets involved in this couple's argument. Now, if, you know, this wife, she's definitely a demon. And these demons, they love these broads because these broads are so damn stupid and operating on their own program Can't no man tell them to stay their ass home and tell them what to do. They don't cooperate. That's why I say they're not wives. So this is another boyfriend, girlfriend lifestyle kind of thing. And I'm sure, some of these foolish men ends up marrying some of these girlfriends. Once they start off as boyfriend and girlfriend, they end up marrying these broads. And this is a perfect example of like boyfriend and girlfriend ending up married, because these are one of those situations, man. By the time a righteous or upright man marries a wife, she's going to be in order. She's not going to be toxic. She's going to be on her best behavior, and she definitely not going to put her husband in danger. But here this wife is at Walmart, ends up getting into an argument with a man that was, arguing with his own woman. And this broad didn't even think to herself, well, if he arguing with his wife, or if he's arguing with his girlfriend, then I know he gonna argue with me. So she definitely was just being hard-headed and foolish. Instead of staying her ass at home, she want to go out to Walmart and get into an altercation. So it says a Nevada woman got into an altercation with a shopper at a Las Vegas Walmart, then ordered her husband to bring a gun to the store, leading to the person she was beefing with being shot, as well as her husband, who wound up dying, cops say. And here locally where I live, there was two guys who shot each other, and they both died over a broad. And both of them already had broads, and they shot each other over a different broad. So stupid. I'm talking about the broad, like they were dealing with the same broad and shot each other over a broad, and they both had broads. So stupid, man. So it's going to be a lot of these dudes that are going to be losing their life behind these broads. And there's going to be a lot of leftover broads because the dudes that they used to be with done crashed out for they stupid asses, and they either dead or in jail. So it says Rakaya Ward is facing charges of battery with a deadly weapon, disregard for the safety of persons or property, and conspiracy to commit battery in connection with the July 21st incident. An arrest report obtained by local NBC and Fox affiliates KSNV and KVVU, respectively, says Ward began fighting with the man identified as Kwame Swain, who was arguing with his girlfriend. See, and I'm going to have to look up that name, Kwame Swain, because it sounds so familiar. I think I probably know that person if it's the same Kwame Swain, but I'm going to do my research on that. So it says she was fighting with this man, and she looked like she likes to fight, like she's very mouthy, looks disrespectful, like she tell her husband she do what she want to do. I didn't marry you to obey. You know how the vows say, obey your husband and stuff. She didn't want to say that part, like she skipped over the obey part, because she's out at this Walmart early in the morning, and it says Rakaya Ward, Ward and Swain exchanged words in front of the Walmart after she walked past the couple and said something, police allege. Punches as well as rocks were thrown, and Ward allegedly called up her husband, Travis Ward, who tell him to come help. So she really want that smoke. She don't like to be at the house, in the comfort of her home with her husband, and staying her ass at home and being happy with her husband. So she told her husband to bring a gun. Ward says, according to witnesses who spoke to police, he's inside, no shirt, she told Travis Ward, her husband, after he arrived at the store with a pistol. The arrest report says, love true crime, sign up for our newsletter, the Law and Crime docket. So Law and Crime is that show that I watch. So I'm sure this is going to be an episode where this woman got her husband killed for calling him to Walmart with a gun, telling him to bring a gun so he can kill another man at the Walmart. And it says to get the latest real-life crime stories developed right to your inbox. All right. Travis Ward allegedly whipped out the handgun and blasted Swain in the middle of the store, sending customers and employees scattering as police arrived. The arrest report says he tried to shoot Swain multiple times, but his gun malfunctioned. See, officers with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department responded to the Walmart located in the 5100 block of Boulder Highway in East Las Vegas around 6 a.m. So she's at this Walmart at 6 a.m. acting like a damn dumbass. Shortly after it opened, damn, Walmart just opened up at 6 a.m. So it's not even a 24-hour Walmart. I take that back. It's not even 24-hour. It just opened up at 6 a.m. And encountered Travis Ward as she walked around after he was walking out of the store with the gun still in his hand. Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department Communications received a call for service stating that numerous subjects were involved in a physical altercation inside. A police captain told reporters at a press briefing after the early Tuesday morning incident. As an officer arrived, he heard what he believed to be a gunshot coming from inside the business, immediately followed by a suspect exiting the business holding a firearm. The captain said that caused the officer to discharge his firearm, striking the suspect. He was pronounced deceased on the scene. So they kill black men quick. You know, I done seen them spare these white dudes if they were in the same situation. They'd only be so quick to kill. But officers entered the Walmart and found Swain suffering from a gunshot wound. The male was also provided immediate medical attention and transported to the hospital where he's currently in critical condition. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department captain reported. Of course, they say that the guy Swain died. So shoppers who were in the Walmart spoke to local media outlets about the chaos that unfolded in the stores, calling it scary and completely unexpected. I know this is a married couple, but these relationships here in America are toxic anyway. You know, most of these couples got married based on religion. Most of them got married based on a lifestyle of boyfriend and girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? But there's not, you know, this is the wrong place and the wrong time to look for a wife, and this is definitely not the place to play that boyfriend and girlfriend game, because that's very messy. It's very messy, like monogamy. I think I'm gonna do a video on how toxic. Well, I mean, I could just add that. You know, that's another one of those titles to this video. You know, but I think there's a separate video too talking about monogamy, because monogamy is another lifestyle that's toxic as well. High divorce rates and monogamy, and single motherhood is over there too. You know, as far as and as well as STDs. So to me, I'm just talking about lifestyles. Boyfriend and girlfriend is a lifestyle. Religion is a lifestyle. You know, and monogamy is a lifestyle. And for the most part, I think I'm gonna do a outcome series on the outcomes of these different lifestyles and talking about how toxic and violent and messy that they are. You know, monogamy has a lot of issues with these people believing that they can only be with one person, or these broads thinking that a man wants to be with just them and they're not the best women, claiming that they want a man to be with just them, and they don't even perform well, they don't even go the distance. But that's another video. So it says shoppers who were at the Walmart spoke to local media outlets about the chaos that unfolded in the store, calling it scary and completely unexpected. One customer says, I literally came to get some Tylenol so I can do my morning walk, and I came into a scene looking like Baghdad. Shopper Christopher Goodlow told CBS affiliate KLAS, I can't believe it, man. 32 years and I never expected this in my life. Vegas has changed quite a bit. Well, America has become very, very toxic and violent and messy, all right? Ward, the wife, was ordered held without bail, while Blue is being held on $25,000 bail. They're both due back in court Tuesday, because it says the entire incident stems from a physical fight that was started by this defendant, the co-defendant, and then enlisting someone to come and show up with a firearm. Yeah, she need to be thrown in jail, man. The post woman tells husband to bring a gun to Walmart to shoot shopper she was beefing with, watches him turn the store into Baghdad and gets him killed. Cops first appeared on Law and Crime. So I'm going to have to go on Law and Crime. We might do some more of these. I might cover some more of these stories and episodes depending on the subject. And I might, I'd definitely be able to use them if I can incorporate them into my series. But this is going to be, the boyfriend-girlfriend series, and how toxic and violent and messy and unfaithful and disloyal, and how these boyfriends and girlfriends stab each other in the back. We had the one story where the boyfriend shot the girlfriend in the head, and that we just covered before this article, and threw her body out on the freeway on I-77. We have the girl that was talking about she really doesn't have nothing to offer a man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these bras are just useless. And she was actually smart. And a lot of dudes will go for her like, oh man, she's still beautiful. She ain't gotta be useful. She still got the looks. I still smash. But see, that's perversion and fornication all over again. So that's why I point these things out, because I'm not a pervert and I don't specialize in fornication, and I don't swing back and forth between these lifestyles just to get with these bras. A lot of the times I miss out on a lot of opportunities because I'm the way I am, and I stand out. I'm different. I'm not about to be stupid just to get with none of these bras. I seen another video earlier where one of these bras was teaching other broads how to go after a man for his money. And one of the options that she talked about was putting themselves going out in public and making themselves available out in public and preying on men while the men are out spending money. So if there's a restaurant that a man may want to treat himself, it might be a favorite chef at this restaurant, or he might want to go try the food at this restaurant and sit down at the bar because he learned that there's a full restaurant with a bar and TVs, or the dinner after 4:30 might be a hit. He might want to get off work at 4 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock, whatever, and decides that he want to go hang out in his car. His car is all fresh and clean. He might want to go change clothes and go experience this restaurant. But these females are scheming on men that are out spending money. She said that one of her first suggestion to the other bras is to catch these men while they spending money, whether it's at a restaurant or at a grocery store. And basically her move was to be a goddess and to really wow a man based on her looks, kind of like that mermaid effect with a pirate, and finesse the man and draw his attention. And she's trying to pull off this beauty approach as far as bedazzling the man with her beauty, to the point where the man is going to see this woman and be like, oh, she's so beautiful, I don't want her to spend her own money. So you catch this broad at the grocery store, you see this broad at a restaurant, and they're looking for foolish men, and they think that men are going to be so caught off guard by her beauty that they're going to be telling themselves, the men are going to say, oh, she's so beautiful, I don't even want her to spend her own money. So to me, they're looking for stupid ass men, foolish men, vulnerable men, lames, tricks, simps, perverts, fornicators, lifestyle, man. It's a lifestyle thing. Then she also said that, the second part of their tactic is that if they come across a man that's married, then deal with that man for short term. So still deal with him. Or if they come across a man that's not married, but he still want to deal with him, then deal with him long term. And at the same time, don't deal with no man that's building himself up. Already look for a man that's already established. So all of this stuff is lifestyle. So their only option for these broads is to keep themselves available and to meet men. So they're expecting for the world to supply an unlimited amount of men that are constantly available because they're not married or they are married and they still want to fornicate. So without perversions, without these different lifestyles, you know what I'm saying, without fornication, these broads really don't have any options. You know what I'm saying? So they keep themselves available. They want to put themselves out there in public. And I see these broads all the time, you know, wearing spandex, you know what I'm saying, got their butt all out, you know, trying to get attention when they out in public. And me personally, I ignore the fuck out of them, me personally. I don't really be trying to meet these broads at all in public. And then one of the third steps of her process was to what was the third one that she said? She said a broad needs to meet at least 3 men a day and to set up a roster of multiple men. I remember the last broad I met, she was in public at a car wash. I went to the car, it was a drive-through car wash with the vacuum cleaners outside the car wash, one of those expensive car washes where I had like a monthly pass, unlimited washes and shit like that. So I went up in the car wash, drove my car in there, went through the whole car wash machine, you know, it's washing and cleaning my car. I come out of the damn car wash and I drove around to get my car vacuumed and I saw this, you know, attractive broad. So I approached her and she gave me her number and we talked for a little bit. And when I say a little bit, I mean I only spoke to her on the phone for like 10 minutes a couple of times. And really 2 times. There was only 2 times I talked to her on the phone because after the second time I spoke to her, I realized she really don't have nothing going on, you know. And she had a job. She claimed she had a business, but I noticed that she didn't have no initiative either. And I don't really care for a broad who don't take initiative and shit like that. So I left the broad alone, but I don't have a problem cold approaching broads or when if I do decide to go out and get myself put together and clean myself up nice. I've had broads offer me drinks and food and stuff when I go out. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no, you know, corny looking dude or no sucker ass dude. You know what I'm saying? I can put myself together and clean up nice. So that's how I do when I get out in public. But now that I understand, and I've been understood, that these broads always prey on the weak, because they really can't not too many of them can really perform well when they get a man that has his own place to stay, his own this and that, and he really don't live with a broad and he can do his own thing and make his own moves and stuff like that. They really can't deal with a man like that. So these broads are looking for tricks. They don't perform well. They don't go the distance. And again, the boyfriend-girlfriend lifestyle is toxic, it's messy, it's disloyal, all right? And things can even get tricky, all right, with those lifestyles. And I've always avoided them. So this is the boyfriend-girlfriend series, you know, this is the first video on that. But you see how these broads don't perform well. They'll set these dudes up, get them booked for a fight, or even get them booked for a funeral. You know what I'm saying? But an honest woman like the woman in the second video, she know that she can't even offer a man nothing because she's not even completed herself and her femininity to even be of value to a man, and live up to what a man expects a woman to be. So with that, hopefully somebody understood what the hell, somebody picked up while I was putting down. But again, this is my video, my channel. I say what I want. If you don't like it, I don't give a fuck. Peace.